your dream job and you decided to leave that. What's the thought process there?
Yeah, that was a really difficult decision. So I had the role for about 18 months, and during that time, I loved the job. I loved the team that I was on. I had a lot of work on my plate, and so I started to get burnt out. But I also started to see more and more people that were doing things online and really enjoying their life, or saying they'd quit their job and now traveled the world, or did different things, or moved to another country. And
Hmm.
when I would think, oh, I would like to do that, I realized that because I was stuck in this job and would have to be there till I was 55 at least, which would be a young age to retire, I couldn't leave the country, or I couldn't move somewhere else or travel for fun as much. So I I was burnt out at the end. I had a micromanaging boss that I couldn't put up with anymore. And also my dream had changed. So even though I had my dream job, my dream had changed. And I think having the burnout as well as the micromanaging boss and things like that made me realize that I had to make a decision for myself to quit my job. And it was really hard to make because I'm a responsible person. I had a mortgage. I have two
Hmm.
kids that were in elementary school at the time. But I also realized that when I thought about my daughters, and if one of them would come to me and say, Mom, I have this really great job and I feel really guilty quitting it, but there's other things that I want to try doing. Of course, I would tell them that they could quit and they should try something else. But for myself, I couldn't give myself permission to quit my job or to try something else. So I decided that I couldn't be a hypocrite with my kids, and therefore I should be an example. And if that's something that I wanted to do, to just pursue doing that. And I also decided that I would rather spend the next 20 years trying to figure out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it and make something work, rather than being in a safe job for the next 20 years and then go and try to enjoy my life. But I would be
Hmm.
older. So I decided I'd rather do it the other way.
So you did not have any other stream of income and you
No,
quit.
no, I had my husband was working, and so it would be enough to get by.
Okay.
So I quit my job and started to figure out what I wanted to do. A different department offered me part-time work, so I went there for another
Okay.
6 months, and then I left there and I did some different freelancing work and started to build up my skills doing marketing and writing. And so I did some freelance work, and then started working more with my husband, who does online marketing. And as I built up my skills, I was contributing to his business as well. So we
Okay.
we couldn't go on vacations and we couldn't do as many fun things, but I decided that it was worth a sacrifice. But it wasn't complete, like no money at all. We did have enough to get by, but just I had to cut out a lot of other things out of my life.
So this question is for people who are in job and want to start a a aspiration in the writing and creative field. What would be your advice, or what would, maybe just sharing the details of the step that you have taken from the point you resigned from that job? How did you get the freelancing? What did you do for next like 1 year um, to build up your presence?
Yeah, so I think that one of the best things to do is, if you're able to, if you can stick it out with your job, especially if you need the income, to start to get the skills that are things that you could do online easily. So even if you want to write a novel and be a writer, you could build up your skills of writing by learning copywriting or other writing skills that are in demand, so that you could start to bring in income from that while you do your aspirational writing or something you really want to
Mhm.
do. So I think that if you can give yourself time to start to learn those skills by reading good books or looking up YouTube videos, and learn about sales or marketing or building a business or building websites or something that you'd be interested in to do on the side, that would also help you get income later on, so that you have some other source of income when you decide to quit your full-time job. And then you could have more time to work on your fun thing, but you'd have another secure income, as well as a skill that would help you with whatever you want to do. So if you learn copywriting, it'll help you as a content creator. If you learn how to build a website, it'll help you. So these are skills that would be helpful
Yeah.
for your personal brand. And for me, I started learning about marketing a lot, and then I got into copywriting and understanding copywriting and persuasive writing. And it fascinated me a lot, and marketing fascinates me. So I think if I would have known about these types of careers when I was younger, I might have studied marketing or maybe studied psychology or therapy, because I find it really interesting. It just wasn't something that was presented to me when I was younger, but I like helping people. But the only jobs I knew of to help people were nurses, and I didn't really want to be a nurse. So I I think that the best way to do it is to start to build those skills, and then slowly try to find clients by doing work for free, or going on websites like Fiverr or Upwork, and starting to just see if you can actually do the work and build up your portfolio, so you can get to the place where you start bringing in some money doing those kind of skills that you've built up. And then you can slowly switch over to quitting your job and having another source of income, and have the time to work on the thing that you really want. And then you don't have to put the pressure on your writing or your content creation or your YouTube videos to make you money. And you can allow that to grow slowly and find your true niche and what really brings you joy in it, if you don't have to put pressure on that content creation to bring in your income.
As you were suggesting, find free project, and you found in marketing and then some other areas. So how did you find those?
I did some Google search and was in different Facebook groups where people would talk about where they were hiring people or looking for them. I found a place to freelance as a writer, and found places to apply online. And so I would just start applying, and even without much of a portfolio, just by probably my life experience and saying that I had worked at the government. So people started to hire me for freelance writing and content writing and SEO writing, that because I was already a person that had a job doing administrative work. So they knew that I could write, and I just did a couple of tests. And that's kind of how I found clients when I was doing some freelance work.